We're here. We are here post Sonoma. It was actually, I would say, quite fun 2 days of racing in wine country. I thought it was 2 enjoyable races for sure. One of the better, if you take the spree of cautions out of the Cup race, it was one of the better Cup races I think that we've had at Sonoma in a while. Because the first two in the next gen car quite lackluster, and then even before that they weren't exceptional. I actually thought the Sunday race was really good, and Saturday was really fun too. You had the whole parking lot coming up through the first S's, and SVG got the win. So did Kyle Larson. The differing strategies in Sunday's race were very interesting. I didn't think they'd play out as differently, but it was pretty compelling to watch Larson kind of climb his way through the field. Chase was on a similar strategy as him, and he got up to fourth. Was very fortunate with some last lap shenanigans going on to get to fourth. But Larson was quick enough to make that strategy work to get the win, and pretty convincingly, I might add. Anybody, if they want to give their thoughts on the race in general and Larson's big win at Sonoma?
I know the tires didn't wear out the way it would have at old Sonoma, but it was still pretty good to see that it still mattered, because at the end of the day, that's what essentially
they were blistering a lot too, weren't they?
Yeah. That was essentially one of the factors that Larson needed in order to get up there. And I mean, just watching him chase Truex and Buescher down was kind of crazy.
Yeah. Even watching Truex chase Buescher down, that was another exciting element.
But I mean, I think overall it was probably the best one we've had in the next gen.
Yeah. I would say that it was probably one of the better road course races in the next gen in general. I think you can say Coda 2023 is up there if there wasn't the ridiculous late race restart 4 wide and craziness that there was, because there were some really good battles between Reddick and Byron in that one. I'm trying to think of any other really good road courses, because they haven't been really great. They've been solid, and there's been some that have been bad, but this, I think, I would say probably was the best road course race of the next gen era. Well, Chicago last year was really good. So that you could throw.
I think that was a perfect storm of things happening, though, for the Chicago race.
I don't know if we see that race be as good again.
The rain.
The rain really amped it up, and also it being shortened. Remember, it got shortened last year too, so it kind of amped it up a lot quicker at the end.
Yeah. So we're gonna the jury's still out on that. It worked year one for sure, but I'm not.
I got hope for Chicago.
Convinced.
I think
it'll be good, but I don't think it's gonna live up to what we saw last year.
No.
Jones, your thoughts?
And I like the tire wear. I always like tire wear, so I was a little worried about this new pavement. I thought it was going to be a, snort fest. It looked like it was the only thing that was going to save this race was the cautions. So it was nice to see that the last stage kind of went caution free, and you kind of saw how the strategy played out, which, by the way, was kind of helped out with all the yellows that we had in the first 2 stages.
Yeah.
If they went for those first 2 stages, everybody would have been the same strategy. So, the cautions probably still kind of saved this race, to be honest. It kind of set it up for different strategies there at the end. So
it really made that midsection of the race kind of slow and tough to watch, though, because it was like, oh my God, And IndyCar had some similar things towards the beginning of their race with a lot of caution. So it was kind of like, geez Louise, we got to get going here. This is an embarrassing day for racing. And even in F1, there were some embarrassing performances, Sergio Perez, Carlos Sainz, making some pretty interesting.
They had rain, though, didn't they? I think they had rain.
They did. And that race actually ended up probably being the best race of the season, I think, for F1. And Max still won. So that's great. I'm not too big into IndyCar. I mean, I watch probably every race at some point for IndyCar, but I don't consider myself an avid follower. I just think it's a bad look whenever Roger Penske owns the series and the cars finish 1, 2, 3 by like 16 seconds. That didn't look great to me. But I don't quite understand.
It feels like it's like that almost all the time, though. I mean, like you go look at Indy qualifying, and they were 1, 2, 3. Right?
Yeah, but then you look at the points, and it's pretty jumbled up between. Yeah. I'd say in IndyCar, there's really 3 teams on top right now, and I would say, or 3 with 3.5, I'd say, because you have,
Penske,
I think on a week,
Ganassi.
Penske, Ganassi, and Andretti, I think are the top 3, and McLaren shows
Yeah.
sometimes that they could be there, but not all the time. Really, just with Award, because they have the 6, I think that has been multiple different drivers this year.
I think now it's Theo.
It was supposed to be Malukas, and then it was Ilott for the Indy 500, and then Pourchaire is, I believe, going to be in it for the rest of the year, except maybe the ovals. I don't know. And then you have Rossi, who kind of consistently gets outperformed by Award. So you really have 3.5 really competitive teams, but it was a rough look for Penske to be 1, 2, 3 by quite a large margin. Maybe we'll replace our NASCAR league talk with IndyCar talk for the future of this podcast. IndyCar is exciting. I enjoy it. Wessel, your thoughts on the race, and big win for Larson, I'd say, to get that 3rd win of the year and regain the points lead with 1 less race.
Yeah, I would have loved for the outrage had NASCAR not given Larson the waiver. And then he goes out the next week, wins the race, and regains the points lead. That would have been
wild.
That would have been cinematic. I would love to see the downfall of the fan base on Twitter. But I didn't really get to watch the race that much. I kind of caught the last 10 laps ish, and that was it. I was kind of listening to it on my phone at work, but yeah, I mean, it was a caution fest at the beginning. Lap 2, Denny Hamlin, blown engine. And then, I think the next one was Reddick getting into the wall in turn 1. Not Reddick.
That was
Ty. Yeah, it was Ty. But yeah, just an absolute caution fest at the beginning.
And then it was just everything.
Josh Berry was bowling. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got a strike. Give him that.
He even tested there, too, so you'd think he would have figured it out a little better.
I think he made a stupid aggressive mood and kind of reacting to like Bubba going off.
Then try to blame it on somebody else.
Yeah, it was like, why was Eric Jones under me? Like, don't block. Like, don't.
What the fuck's everybody doing?
No. Yeah. Well, what are
Ron
you
Blaney
doing?
kind of had a Harvick moment during that race. He at the same racetrack too. He said, "We do like a bunch of buffoons." I never thought I'd hear that word again.
Yeah, they did for a little bit. I really, really enjoyed the strategy aspect, though. I thought it was cool. At first, I was a little like, oh, man, I kind of hate that all these cautions brought, like, Buescher, Truex into this who don't deserve to be in. But they proved they have decent enough cars. And Larson just proved to be strong enough to make it not matter. Because I think if you were an average car, you were better off on the Buescher-Truex strategy than you were on the Larson strategy. But Larson was quick enough to make it work. Who would you guys have circled probably as the top 3 during that race? What would you have said other than Larson?
Reddick, until he had
Reddick got damaged.
The tire spot, the tire thing is what
the flat
killed him.
spot.
Yeah, the flat spot, yeah.
I would say Larson, Reddick,
probably
and I don't
Truex,
even know who the third one would be. Yeah, maybe.
I think you'd have to put Truex in it because Truex was actually keeping up pretty good with old tires till he went kind of into fuel saving mode. And a lot of good it did him. So I think that's probably hard.
Put Chastain maybe and Chase right up
Chastain
there.
Was good on the short run and on the restarts. He would give it back up though.
That's all.
Blaney even had him. Long run.
I thought Blaney was pretty solid.
Blaney was decent. Yeah. I think
early, so he got put in traffic.
Yeah, he got put in traffic, and it was kind of hard. But he eventually made his way back up there. I think he finished 7th after the 2 cars that.
Well, he had fresher tires than I think even Larson. So,
yeah,
if I'm not mistaken.
I'm about to spit some Chase Elliott propaganda. The guy is low-key having like a great season.
He is.
He's finished top 20 in all races. I did not realize that till somebody posted it on Twitter yesterday.
And since he's 34 out of his last 36 races, top 20. His average finish is over 2 spots better than the next full-time driver. So, you know, he's not maximizing the stage points. Like if you look at the Trey Ryan put out a really good stat today, that was cup points with and without stages. Chase Elliott is far and away the point leader without stages, but in this real world, he's about 14, 17 points behind Larson, I believe. Which, you know, he's done a really good job, and there was a lot of conversation this year about how Chase is the third, maybe even fourth best Hendrick driver. I think he's.
I don't think anybody was saying fourth except for maybe Bradley.
Well, you know, there is conversation. There's a lot of people talking out there. But I would say he's been better than Byron this year.
More consistent.
Especially here lately.
Byron is not.
I thought Byron's pulling a Byron move that he's done every year. He gets his wins out of the way, then he kind of plateaus.
Yeah.
Yeah, disappears for a little bit.
I feel like during the summer, he always has that stretch where they're just not running.
Nothing goes right.
Yeah.
Like he had damage in this race, you know, the bent toe link. They never did get fixed. So
and he wasn't running like he was running solidly. I think he was but he was behind the other 3 Hendrick cars, you know. So talk about Denny Hamlin, first or earliest he's ever been out of a cup race. Big blow up. You don't see that too often.
Destroyed my bracket. My bracket's dead.
Yeah.
I don't
loses.
They destroyed a lot of people's brackets.
I would bet. Loses.
I mean, my bracket was half destroyed after last week.
Yeah.
And this week, I haven't looked at it yet. I'm scared to. I did have Denny winning my bracket, though.
I would say heading in, Denny was the strongest driver this season, heading into this race. Do you guys think this hurts his momentum at all? I know it's completely out of his control. But something like that,
I don't think it does.
Could potentially hurt his momentum.
I don't think so.
I don't think
not when you blow up on lap 2.
I don't think necessarily the driver, but maybe Toyota, because I mean this is 2 weeks in a row now that something engine related has cost one of your drivers.
Yeah. This is a totally different point, but something we don't see too often. 2 weeks in a row, drivers up in the top 5 running out of fuel on the last lap. So I think these crew chiefs are really trying to get aggressive with the pitting as early as they can for the last window. And it's starting to bite some guys. And I think you might see some,
right?
Yeah. So, well, I think that, like, I was listening to Actions Detrimental earlier, and I thought Denny made a really good point in saying that maybe Truex's fuel number was different running in 15th. You know, being in dirty air, probably not running as quick a lap. Your fuel number is going to increase. He was out front going full blast trying to get by Buescher. They didn't have any idea there was going to be a fuel problem, and then until they told him to flip the switch. So, you know, I think that could be an interesting look into maybe some strategy change from teams, because it has bit 2 drivers without wins in back-to-back weeks. Now, Truex is a lot more comfortable in points than Blaney.
Let's say Blaney did have a decent point day, though. I think.
He didn't, but you got a lot of guys that haven't won yet that could win, you know? I know we haven't seen the speed from guys like Joey Logano and Kyle Busch, but if either of those drivers win, I don't know if anybody's surprised, you know? Bubba Wallace is right on that cut line. Ross Chastain doesn't have a win. Chris Buescher, I think, is probably the best driver in that whole cut line region right now. He's about 32 points up and has been running really well lately. He doesn't get stage points hardly ever. I believe he won.
He fell off like a rock at the end of that race. I don't know what happened because he was on the same strategy as Truex, and Truex was flying by him. So I don't know.
Yeah, but he was the only one that made it to the end on that pitted on that lap because him and Kyle Busch both ran out of fuel. Denny dove into some SMT data on Actions Detrimental, and it might appear that Kyle Busch actually was running out of fuel right into the corner where Chastain hit him. Chastain still did over.
Chastain still took it.
Yeah, Chastain
Yeah.
drove the fuck out of that.
Kyle Busch gave him the lane.
But yeah, I don't know what he was doing. I guess Kyle Busch was like, I ran out of fuel anyway. That's probably why he wasn't as ballistic as
so
everybody
mad.
expected him to be. And then Chase Elliott played like vigilante and said, "Not on my watch," and went and booted Chastain in turn 11, which honestly
we never saw. I still have not seen a clip of that.
It's on. I'll pull it up.
NASCAR posted it from the in-car.
Yeah. NASCAR is doing a better job at covering the race on Twitter than Fox is on fucking television. I'm getting real sick of it.
Like, half of our title today is finally Fox is finished. It's like the Wicked Witch is dead. It has been a pretty rough.
I will have to say, this might be the roughest year I have ever seen out of Fox. Like, it's got to be.
And you can't even blame it on Clint Boyer.
No, Clint, it's not the commentary.
I don't like Clint, but
it's just
him.
The production. Their production team is ass. They need to figure something out.
I think it's a bunch of interns.
I just don't think they have, like, the timing doesn't make sense in a lot of instances.
I hated when they were thinking they're like head production guy or camera guy. Like, oh, so that dude's the reason that we missed so many things.
All right, we've got the video here. This is the last lap heading in turn 11 here on board with the number 9.
Like how he kind of angled it out there first.
Well, see, it looked like Chastain went down the block and Chase is like, not.
Yeah, Chastain started moving in the braking zone. So, like, Chase is docking here, then he goes and cuts the line off and then moves back over to block Chase. So Chase is like, all right, not happening. And he's off, and Martin Truex is like, oh, what the hell just happened?
You know, honestly, I'm surprised they did not throw a caution for the Truex incident.
They did.
They did.
Dangerous. They did? Okay.
Once every car, like, actually finished, they did.
No, they threw it pretty early because there's a lot of people bitching why that Kyle Busch should have finished top 10 because it was frozen, and Truex too, for that matter. But you still got to keep pace. So
yeah, you still have to keep pace.
Yeah,
I gotta feel bad for Kyle Busch though. Was looking for a top 5 run, which that team and him especially just
this last month has probably been the worst month of Kyle Busch's career. Like,
yep, he got punched in the mouth at North
All-Star race.
But most of it was his own doing.
Contest. Yeah, I don't blame anything on him this week.
No, not. But still, a lot of it, 90% was his own making. So
yeah.
I mean, there was that incident. There's the Gateway incident. He wrecked in testing at Indianapolis.
Yeah, not great.
It's been rough, man.
Got a feel for him. Does he make the playoffs?
Yes.
What do we think?
No. No, I don't think so.
You're the tiebreaker, Tegan.
Daytona is such a wild card that RCR knows how to fucking shit one out.
They're good at it.
They know how to shit a golden egg. So, I don't know. You take Daytona out of it? Probably not.
I would argue Kyle Busch has been maybe the best next gen super speedway.
Oh yeah,
he has been good.
Racer.
Yeah.
So you have that, and I think a motivated Kyle Busch with needing to win to make the playoffs. It's very, very far out at this point. You know, he's a very small margin out currently on points. So anything can happen over the next 10 or so weeks.
I think it's just tough because I think there's too many behind him
that are good,
that I think are better. Like, I think Logano is, you know, I was going to say that I think Logano's starting to figure it out, but then he had a really shit race at Sonoma. But
well now that was, and then
I don't know,
and then
pitted. He was in the accident right after he pitted from the lead. So
I think they're figuring it out very slowly.
I think
Cindric kind of went back to reality, but I think Logano's figuring it out.
I think Logano's more likely to make it than Kyle Busch.
Yeah, like I think Logano will leap him. He's out by like what right now?
17, I think.
Logano. I think he gets in.
Yeah, but who does he kick out? Because I think the playoffs are pretty stout right now. Let's get this
I think Joey can point his way in. To be honest, I don't think he even has to win.
Mm-hmm.
So you gotta remember, Joey knows how to get stage points.
The playoff standings that are accurate now. Let's go.
Thank God they finally fixed him. Okay, so if you are Martin Truex Jr. right now, you feel fine. I think 128 points up. You're good.
I would argue even Ty Gibbs and Ross. Maybe you're fine.
I'd say you're Ty Gibbs. You say if I have one bad race, like I can't have two 1 point races. You know, I gotta
get one bad race.
At least you get one,
and he just had one.
If you get a second one, and then it's kind of like, all right, I'm right in the crux of this right now.
I would say from Bowman down, like Bowman, Blaney, Buescher, Wallace.
I'd say if you're in this spot, Bowman, Blaney, you're slightly concerned. You're not majorly, but there's but now if you're Buescher or Bubba, Buescher has one DNF, he's out of the playoffs maybe. And
yeah, I mean, there's a decent gap between Blaney and Buescher too. Like it's like 32 points right there in between.
Okay, they don't show us who's below the line.
Oh, okay.
Great.
Oh, because of the stages. I was wondering why Cindric was ranked above some of the guys, but it's because of his stage.
It's the playoff.
So, Bubba is 8 points ahead of Kyle Busch, who is the first car out, and then is 16 points ahead of Logano, and is 27 ahead of Briscoe.
So I don't think
I gotta say, I don't think so. Yeah, I'm not. I think it's going to come down to these four, unless
I would say
from
winner. Joey up.
Yeah.
Who's behind Suarez? McDowell.
McDowell's
an interesting one because I think he could do it.
At a road course.
I think he's another one who's been running fast and has had some really shitty luck the last few weeks.
Yeah.
But that's a big point gap to make up.
Yeah, I think he's going to win. Or he not going to win, but I think if he's going to make it in, it's going to be on a win.
It has to be a win.
And I wouldn't be surprised to see him win. Down here, I think, maybe one of these guys could luck into a win at a super speedway or even a different track. Like somebody like Noah Gragson is really good at Michigan.
We got Atlanta too, don't we? It's in the playoffs.
Atlanta's in the playoffs. Eric Jones is really good at Darlington.
But that car is not good.
Not really, no. I'm kind of disappointed with Legacy this year, honestly. I thought
that's 2 years in a row, ain't it?
It is, yeah.
Mike is always on the Legacy train, and it never makes it to the
Eric
station.
Jones.
Never makes it to the station.
We'll see. They've got 3 top 10s combined this year, so that's great.
Wait, all of Legacy only has 3 combined?
Yeah, that's right. Jones has 1, Nemechek has 2. Yeah, that's not great. They have as many top 10s as Rick Ware.
Justin Haley, I know he's definitely not going to get a win anywhere unless it's a plate track, or he's definitely not going to point his way in. But he has been running really good lately.
Yeah. For him to be, I know he's 32nd in points, and that doesn't look great for many people.
He must have had a bad finish somewhere, but he was running good.
But to see a Rick Ware car 2 points off of a RCR car, and that's just on pure speed. Like Austin Dillon's been just bad, and Justin Haley has been, I would say, good compared to where we expected him. He's miles ahead of Harrison Burton and Zane Smith, who are, I would say, arguably both in better cars than he is. So good on Justin Haley getting the most out of it. Ryan Preece moving up 3 spots. Sally will be pretty jocked up about that. SHR kind of fading. Noah Gragson and Josh Berry were in the top 20 in points, both of them.
It seems like they've kind of been fading since that announcement came out.
Yeah, hard to keep morale up when the doors are closing in a couple of years. So,
and they both did
in a couple months.
Yeah. Cindric has moved up quite a bit. So is Suarez. They're like, fluke winners, but they're not in a bad spot. 18th and 19th in points is only 2 spots off of where the theoretical.
I don't think they would point their way in though.
No, they
those
wouldn't.
are 2 guys that are definitely not going to point their way into the playoffs.
Right. They'd have to go on a pretty monumental run here coming up.
Mm-hmm.
And up at the top, you got Kyle Larson back in the point lead. Him and Denny Hamlin, I think, have been far away the 2 most dominant drivers. Chase is doing a pretty good job here. He's in 2nd. Just very, very consistent. And Tyler Reddick having a pretty sneaky good year here. Only 50 points, just under 50 points off of the lead, and leading the series in top 10s, I believe. Yeah, he is. He's the only one with 10 top 10s. So good on him. You've got Byron kind of fading back down to 6th in points. Truex is 5th, and there's a pretty big gap between 6th and 7th here between Byron and Keselowski. And then it's really tight here, 7th through 9th. Keselowski gives Bell, all separated by 1 point. Then you get pretty close here, which a couple more winners, this could be kind of where the cut line falls. So we will see about that. Anything stand out to you guys in this look at the points here?
Brad being 7th in points is kind of surprising. Like, I knew that he was been running good, but I wasn't thinking like 7th in points. Like, I thought for sure Ty or even, Christopher Bell, maybe even Ross would be ahead of him.
So, sneaky thing about Brad, he's tied for the series leading top 5s with 7. He's tied with Denny and Larson. So, he's been pretty stout this year, I'd say. So, good for Brad. And those top 5s have been really good finishes, too. Like, this run right
been here
like
lately.
Third, second, first, second. That's pretty strong. And then you got a 4th and a 3rd earlier on in the year. 2 DNFs at the drafting tracks, and then a 33rd at Coda, 30th at Dover. So considering those bad finishes, everything else, like you take those mulligans out, like he's running really, really well. Hi, Roger. Let's look at Clyde. I am very happy with this season so far. Of course, you want more wins and more laps led, but I mean, just the good finishes that he's been pumping out and running pretty consistently, I'm happy with. Or for Sal and I are biased. Wessel and Tegan, can you be like an unbiased judge of where you think Chase Elliott and the 9 team are at this year?
I'm not gonna sit here and stroke your cock, buddy. Like, that's not what I'm here for.
Can you just give your honest
not
opinion?
Not over Chase Elliott. I'm not either.
You can give your opinion. I mean,
he's been running good. For. It's impressive that he hasn't. He hasn't had a DNF yet. So he's been pretty lucky. He hasn't gotten into any incidents or any, mechanical problems or anything like that.
Yeah, Harvick he's had the longest streak since Harvick a few years back. Had a pretty long one. So I would say Chase Elliott has slowly morphed himself into a points racer these last couple of years.
Yeah,
because he did a really good job
getting. He's had that's the only thing you can do.
His speed isn't good enough to win right now, I don't think, on a weekly basis, but it's good enough to finish about top 5 on a weekly basis.
He can salvage a good day from a bad car.
Yeah, it's always improving by the end of the day, and I think always gets about as good of a finish as he can out of it. Just wish he was a little more aggressive on the restarts.
He was getting absolutely cooked every restart.
Yeah, he was getting ran over by his teammates. Larson, Bowman both hit him. Chastain, Blaney, so it was about everybody up there, and he was afraid to. But he got Chastain at the end, which made me happy.
To be fair, I saw the Blaney incident thing. He might have slightly overreacted a little bit to the Blaney, because I don't think the contact with Blaney was that big, and he jerked the fuck out of his wheel.
Oh, are you accusing him of being similar to somebody that used to be in our league?
Huh?
I said, are you accusing him of being similar to somebody that used to be in our league?
We're not doing this.
He don't know. He honestly don't know. He has no idea.
No, I just now picked it up.
Think about the goose, okay? So I don't have to. Any other thoughts on the Cup race before we switch gears here?
No, let's talk about SVG putting his fucking dick on Austin Hill's.
My dog.
I love it.
My dog. My goat. We are a big SVG podcast, I think. I don't know if Tegan is. He doesn't like foreigners, but
shocker.
Except for Sal.
Well, yeah.
I don't like him very much either. I'm still trying to send him back.
I don't know. I saw a little love note stuffed in the couch in Charlotte. I don't know about that.
Oh, wow.
He wrote them to himself.
There was no note, Samantha.
Let's chat about SVG. Got his lick back on Austin Hill, moved him out of the way on that restart. Austin Hill didn't give him room. SVG was there. Austin Hill was cutting down, not giving him room. So SVG said, "Not working for me, mate."
Now, to be fair, SVG went in a little deep in there. I think he would have hit him anyways.
Yeah.
But Austin Hill definitely didn't, give him any room.
And you know what? I don't fucking like Austin Hill. So I was happy to see it. I don't like him. All right. I don't know many people that do. I thought it was great. And then SVG just fucking drifting behind him for the whole victory lap is crazy.
That photo I saw going around.
That photo of
Twitter
Hill flipping him off
flipping him
while
off.
he's doing
the
it.
window
That was kind of fucking hard.
So good.
To be honest,
Yeah.
Hill did that to himself. He could have fucking sped up and got away from that. He was the reason why it was done that way.
Didn't SVG like pass him while drifting on the cooldown lap, and then Hill like?
No, he ran in
back
front
up
of him.
there.
He ran back in front of him and slowed down. Yeah, he was trying to interrupt his burnouts and stuff.
I gotta give SVG credit though. I think he has like the coolest victory celebration right now. The full track drift and now kicking the signed rugby ball into the crowd. I think that's cool. Like you know,
it didn't make it to the crowd this time, but still a good kick. It was a long way from the stands.
Not a football. It was a good kick though. I mean, that's pretty far away.
I tell you what, if this NASCAR thing doesn't work out, let's get this guy to the NFL.
Absolutely. He needs to be the punter for the Giants. We do that an awful lot. So yeah, good for him. Big win for SVG, getting him back to back. You know, he won a stage in the race too, so he could put himself in a pretty decent spot in terms of playoff points. You know, you've got a couple of road courses, I think, in the regular season left. You have the Chicago Street Course, which you'd have to assume he's the favorite for in maybe both series.
Yeah.
I don't know if Watkins Glen falls in the playoffs for Xfinity or not.
I don't know if Watkins Glen would really be a strong suit for him either. It seems like he's really, really good on technical road courses. Watkins Glen's not very technical. I feel like he can probably be really quick there. I mean, obviously he's going to be good on road courses.
Everybody's been on that one for a while.
But that's one that's been around for a while, and it's a fast road course. It's not very technical, so I think other people can probably come into play there.
And Sonoma is completely new to the Xfinity series, which
they've only been there. This is what their second year back. Yeah.
So it is kind of a new thing for them. You've got the Chicago Street Course, July 6th for the Xfinity series. And then Watkins Glen does fall before the playoffs, so he will have a shot. Charlotte Roval, I feel like he could actually do pretty well there. So we will see where SVG will land for the rest of the playoffs. Yeah, so if SVG wins the Roval, he's in the round of 8 and probably got a decent amount of playoff points. You know, hey, we'll see what he can do. I'm a big SVG guy. Tegan, I think out of the four of us, probably is the least big SVG guy.
You'd be right.
Why? What's your problem with him?
I think y'all just sucking on that cock way too much. The dude will not make the Final Four, but y'all think he's God's gift to NASCAR. Each to their own, I guess. I root for Riley, who wrecks every other week, so I can't say.
I mean, I think you have to acknowledge though that he's
good on road courses.
I think he's the best thing outside of NASCAR that's come to NASCAR.
In recent years, yes.
Yeah.
And it's not that he's not a slouch on ovals either. Like, this is a guy that's been running ovals for 6 months, and he's getting better. Like, he's getting good.
You're talking about in a year who half good equipment and half garbage.
But it's in a year
in the garbage. Where's
he's
his
in half garbage,
running?
half good equipment.
But he's outrunning his teammates. He's outrunning AJ Allmendinger, even on the
Josh
ovals.
Williams has been in the Xfinity series for how many fucking years?
Okay,
Nobody
Josh Williams
great.
is.
But I'm not saying he's great. But he is getting outran. This guy has been in the same car for fucking 5 years. I don't care how bad or good the car was. The guy's got experience. he's been putting around in fucking 22nd all year. SVG has at least been running mid-teens and making the most out of it towards the end of these races. Adrian Allmendinger hasn't done fucking anything. You brought up
the wrong driver to compare to him because I agree with you on Josh
That's
Williams.
his teammate. Who else am I supposed to compare it to?
He's nothing but a fucking hack who got this ride because he fucking parked his fucking shit on the front.
Let's look at the Xfinity points. Let's look at the Xfinity points real quick. Pull it up, Mike.
Trae los puntos.
Okay.
You brought out the Mexican in me, Tegan Jones. You're pissed me off now.
Well, y'all over here putting words in my mouth I'm thinking, God, Josh Williams is so much better. Josh Williams don't even deserve to be in a fucking car. He needs to go back to his own shit.
SVG's had a Sam Mayer.
Dog.
He's ahead of 2 JRM cars.
3!
He's ahead of 3 JRM cars.
Oh, but he's not American, so he doesn't deserve to be in NASCAR.
I didn't say that. I just don't understand how y'all are constantly going all the fucking time, every fucking week. Even when he's running 20th, y'all are like,
We haven't talked about him in weeks.
So full of shit. I'm talking about not on the pod. I'm talking about in general. When we're watching the races in the fucking chat. Oh, that SVG. That's my dog. That's my dog. He's him. He's him. Hell, half the fucking field is him according to fucking y'all. So which one is it?
Half the field has been in this series for a minimum of 3 or 4 years. He's been doing it for 5 months.
But like I said, though, every half the field is him, apparently. Because y'all say it every fucking week. Oh, he's him.
I don't say it about any of these motherfuckers. I don't like Cole Custer. I fucking hate Austin Hill. Chandler Smith is fine. Allgaier is a fucking lifer in this series. Jesse Love is going to be a star in the sport. Adrian Allmendinger's washed. Riley Earps, I don't know why you like
But now you were talking Hitchcock last year, so it must be whoever's up and coming.
Well, guess what? He was the only reason why they were doing good.
You were the one that literally said he deserves to be in Cup. He don't need
He
to go
does.
back
I don't know why they got rid of him in Cup, but he's
Cup.
got fucking waxed by SVG. I don't know what's going on with him. He deserved to be in Cup.
Along with his fucking team owner.
How many top 10s does he have, Shane? 4.
4, yeah.
So that's 2 ovals.
Yeah. He got a top 10 at Atlanta and Phoenix. 11th at Martinsville, 15th Richmond, 15th Darlington, 15th Charlotte. And the Charlotte run actually could have been better. He had a little trouble there. So I would say he's been pretty good overall. Can't really complain about his first season. And he showed improvements on the ovals, I'd say.
I think you'll see him like. Now I got to choose my words wisely before Tegan says I'm sucking his cock.
Yeah, we can't say anything.
I think what you'll see improvements on SVG's part is whenever you start going back to these tracks where he's already been there once.
Yeah.
Hell, we say that about every fucking rookie.
Okay.
That's the fucking go-to. That's the fucking go-to.
He never ran ovals before.
He'll be fine when we go back to the track.
He's never run ovals. Never. He's what, 30-something years old? Never ran an oval.
He's an old fuck.
Hell, he's the next Dale Earnhardt. Put him in the 3-car, RC. Wow. Put him in the 3-car, RC. Take off
the 3-car would be in the playoffs.
Honestly, that would be an improvement. You can't tell me that he's not an improvement over Austin Dillon.
Put him in the 3-car, please.
Put a dead cockroach in the 3-car, and it's an improvement.
Put fucking Will Brown in the 3-car. Justice for Will Brown.
Very unfortunate.
Guy deserved better. He wrecked Martin Truex Jr., which hearing what Martin Truex Jr. said on the radio after makes me quite happy. So Martin Truex Jr. I think he's gonna have some sensitivity training coming up.
Yeah.
I don't know. It depends. That's on the radio. He didn't say that in an interview, so.
No,
I'm kind of curious on how NASCAR handled it.
So remember a couple years ago, Haley Deegan said it over the radio.
No, she did it over a live stream. She was live streaming something.
Yeah, I remember.
Like it wasn't even anything related.
It wasn't even NASCAR related then. Yeah. So he'll probably still have to go through sensitivity training. Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't understand, why people will say that. But, I guess I have a different perspective on that word than a lot of other people because I have seen it up close. So it strikes a nerve with me that it probably doesn't with most other people. But I think it's a word that definitely should not be used really at all, even in terms of saying like if somebody is mentally or considered that. So, I think that, it shows a lack of maturity on when Kyle Busch said it a couple years ago and when Truex said it Sunday. People tried to say that he was saying ringers. The video came out. He did not say ringers. Everybody probably knows and hear what he said. So he'll have sensitivity training. Of course, I don't think it's enough, but, that's the precedent NASCAR set with it. So that's what he'll have to deal with. And I hope he retires, and goes and fishes by himself.
Fish with Ryan Newman. Him and Newman are buddies.
Yeah, great.
That's a fishing trip Mike would want to go on.
Yeah, I'd rather fucking get shot in the face. I'd rather hang out with fucking Trump.
Wish I had something like shot through the window.
I wish. Yeah.
Who was? Somebody said something about shooting this week. What happened? Who was it? I can't remember.
Colton Herta.
Colton Herta.
Yeah. So he was unhappy with IndyCar's lack of penalties Sunday, and he said, the only way I'm going to get penalized is if I come to the track with a gun and shoot somebody in the head. So, yeah, that's a pretty big statement towards IndyCar race control. I mean, he's not wrong. There was some crazy shit going on during that race. It was a solid race. Still, Will Power broke a 2-year-long winless drought. Good for him and that 12 team to get the win. At least Penske's doing well in something. I'd argue this is Penske's worst season in NASCAR since 2009, maybe. Right? Because I feel like throughout
what 2009 was. That was
a bad year for a lot of teams.
That was was that Newman's last year?
Newman was already at RCR or at SHR. So it was Hurt in the 2, Stremme in the 12, and Hornish in the 77. And that is not necessarily the strongest driver lineup outside of Kurt. And I believe Kurt did miss the chase that year. 2009 chase was kind of a weird one with who was in it. You had like Brian Vickers and Juan Pablo Montoya in it, but guys like Busch and Kenseth and
Harvick
both Bushes. Harvick was out of it. Burton. It was kind of a different looking year for I'd say out of all the chase fields, 2009 I think was the most unique. Yeah, just Brian Vickers in the 83, Montoya in the 42 making it is always going to be kind of strange to me. Especially, I'll pull it up. Like there were some big names that didn't make it, and Juan Pablo Montoya, like I don't know if you remember, Tegan was literally like the point leader at one point in the.
I do remember.
Chase. Like he had a really strong start to it. Of course, with all the wacky people in the playoffs, Jimmy Johnson still won. Mark Martin and Jeff Gordon rounded out a Hendrick top 3, while Dale Jr. was Lance McGrew. Let's see here. Oh my goodness, there's a lot of yada yada here. Jeez Louise, just give me the standings. Oh jeez.
Why don't you just click on it?
I did. All right. Yeah, you had Casey Kane make it in the 9. Montoya make it. Kurt Busch actually did make it.
That was peak Abraham, though.
So I would say Abraham peaked a couple years before, but yeah, I'll put a sock in my mouth on that one for Kurt Busch not making the playoffs. Kyle Busch missed it. Kenseth, Boyer, Burton, Harvick. Junior was really bad. Yeesh.
Golly.
Not a great one. What year did Kurt Busch miss? Was it 2010 that he? No, he was good in 2010. I feel like he missed it one of those years at Penske.
2012?
No, it
wasn't it when he was in the 22?
2008 might have been the bad year that I'm talking about. Because Newman won the 500 that year, and then Kurt won at New Hampshire, and I think that was it. And yeah, they were 17th and 18th in points. So I would say this is probably the worst year for Penske since 2008, probably. Yeah, I would say that because they really didn't do much. Newman had 2 top 5s all season. Kurt Busch had 5. So, yeah, that's not great. And then you had Sam Hornish, 35th in his rookie year. So that wasn't great. Mark Martin did half the season and outscored about everybody. I think what's not talked about enough is how good Mark Martin was in 2007 for running a part-time schedule. Take a look at this, right? I mean, this guy was pumping out fucking top 20. He's like Chase Elliott. Look at this. 2nd, 5th, 5th, 10th, 3rd, 12th. And he wasn't even full-time. I mean, that guy would have been a Chase driver if he ran full-time that year, I think.
And they thought about it.
They should have. I remember, yeah, they should have done it. Instead of getting Almirola reps for something they wouldn't even do. But he did a pretty good job. I think Mark Martin, kind of an underrated run here between 07 and 08 with his part-time schedule.
The Dale Jr. download with him on it, and big dog move. When he was running in the ASA series, which is I'm pretty sure the series that we went and watched.
It was Hickory, yes.
The Hickory. He said he was running in ASA in the early 70s or late 70s or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And he
Late
would
70s.
build chassis and sell them to his competitors, and he would give them the opportunity to buy his setup for another $100. And he's like, "Well, I wasn't worried about giving them my setup because I knew they wouldn't beat me with it anyways."
Dog.
What a fucking crazy mindset that is.
Kind of a dog.
It's like me getting on NASCAR Heat 5 and giving out my shit for $20 and then going out there and whooping their ass with it.
Yeah.
While we're on the subject, let's talk about the depressing topic. Are we done? What do we think?
We'll have to see.
I don't want to jinx it.
I'd give it a couple
another
more
month.
weeks. Yeah, maybe another month.
I just wish they'd come out and say what's going on. Because they know they either deliberately shut down the servers or they are trying to fix them. They're down. So, very unfortunate. Tegan would be the champion if we stop now. So congratulations, Tegan.
I will proudly take your asterisk.
I wouldn't put an asterisk next to it, but that I leave that to other people to do. But if this is it, I'll let you take the floor here. What were your thoughts on this season in general? I thought it was a very competitive season, good attendance throughout. So you could be the champ. So floor is yours. Talk about the season and how bummed out you are about this.
Well, I am pretty, but no, I wanted to finish it. I mean, we're barely halfway through the season, and I honestly felt like lost yesterday. Getting up, not practicing, with some of the guys, Sunday morning before the race come on, and then knowing that after the actual race went off, you weren't going to, switch over to get ready for your race. You just sat there and looked at the fucking TV screen. And now I guess I got to get addicted back to GTA.
I know, I sat there and I got on after the race ended, and I think me and Sal both got on and we started racing on SRX because we didn't really have anything else to do.
It's just,
and we're like, I'm surprised nobody else has gotten on. I mean, I guess there's no hurry to rush home or
it's just, I guess
I took the long way.
Nobody knew they wanted. So I mean, a break is nice, but we'd had those anyway. So I mean, I was kind of looking forward to getting more wins. I was going, I was wanting more double digits. I was wanting to get more than 10 because that's what I had last year. So I don't know. It kind of blows because, if this is it, we are going to be over a year before we're back on another game. And
it's not going to be until the
year and a half before we're even, starting a new season. So it's just,
we could take kind of an unprecedented route to a new season, could start it before the calendar year if we're really itching and everybody feels good about it.
I kind of feel like I'd like to have a couple months of test run. And by the time the game comes, if it comes out in the fall, we start in January, like the first week of January. So we're not going to be down long anyway when the new game comes out like October or something. So it's just, like I said, it kind of blows,
I'm quite disappointed. You know, I guess I was the last Cup winner, so that's pretty cool. And I
The
did
last
have this,
official race winner though is
The other
Killer.
Mine Killer. Yeah,
Yeah.
he is. Yeah, he did win on fumes at Road America, which was a really exciting race, and that was honestly one of the most fun broadcasts I've got to do in terms of a good finish. So if that was the last one I did, then I was very happy to do it. But definitely a fun season. You and I, Tegan, I think we're really just going at it between us all year at the top, trading the points lead back and forth. So with the season I had, if there's anybody that I'm going to lose to, I'm glad it's you because you were very strong. I think I had a really strong season too. Really good average finish. So if I'm losing to anybody, I'm glad it's you because you're the only one that I feel is a little bit better than me right now. But so congratulations. If this is it, we don't know yet though. It could very easily get fixed, and that's the hope. But the more it's going on without any explanation, the more my concern grows, I would say. So if anybody has anything else to add, then feel free. But
I mean, it sucks it's ending. I feel like I had a really bad start to the season, and I was just kind of starting to figure it out. Kind of getting back into the swing of it of actually running full time. And man, it sucks because I was getting pretty close to passing a couple people in points. Like I think I'm 10 behind Mind Killer, and I was getting pretty close to Ryan too. I'd have liked to have been able to try to catch them, before the playoffs started. It was going to be close, whether that would happen or not. But yeah, I mean, it sucks. I finally commit to running a full-time season, and then
you cut short.
Maybe I'm the curse. I don't know.
Yeah.
But no, yeah. I wish we could have seen it out.
We still might. You never know.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's dead. I don't know.
I do too, but I don't know. Maybe we can.
I hope they get sued. I hope NASCAR season because I understand they're supposed to keep this shit at least through 2024.
Through 2024, the tweet is not. There's no maybe. It says we're keeping the servers through 2024. Well, it's just a flat out.
An article on the article it literally said all of 2024, the rest of 23, and all of 2024. Which means we would have went without 25. We'd had to probably take a year off, which we kind of expected that anyway. But at least we could have, I'd been even fine with a date. They could have gave us a fucking heads up. We could have doubled up.
We're getting the server.
We could have canceled midweek, and just concentrated on Cup Series and got it down to the playoffs starting and run to, we didn't put a NASCAR during COVID. We'd have done it. We didn't put a NASCAR. We've done midweek races for Cup.
You could have condensed the playoffs down to a certain amount of races and
double even if they said eliminations or something.
Even if they said oh, it's closing next week, I think we would have said, all right, let's maybe just do
take our top 10 now.
Yeah,
that would have been a Mickey Mouse thing to do though. We'd had to run some races during the week to make it kind of legit.
But then you get the vote of some people might not be able to be there for the races and stuff.
True, but I don't know. I would have worked around some people's schedules. I would have took time off of my work schedule to make shit work. That's how dedicated I am to this league. I literally took time on sheets today to fix something that fucked up, and I'm starting thinking, why am I fixing this? It don't fucking matter. But I still did it. I want it to look good. So, I'm having sheets withdrawals after today because everything is fixed, running smoothly now. So, I had to work on somebody else's shit today. So,
what I brought up earlier in the party, is that something that we're probably going to do? I mean, it's not going to change anything, but I think it'd still be nice to have at the end. So I think if this is it, this is what I brought up to Bradley and Tegan earlier. I didn't say anything about it.
It's only fair.
I think whatever playoff points people have accumulated up until now, gets added on.
It's not going to change much, but maybe
it's not going to change anything. I think we went through it and looked at it. Literally, nobody's going to swap swaps because of this.
Well, like I said, you get those points at the end of the year when you're eliminated anyway. The only ones that don't get it are the final four, so it makes sense to do that.
Yeah, I would say just add everybody's playoff points on, and then there's the top 10 get bonus points at the end of the regular season. Add those in, and then that.
Now I'd be singing a different tune if it would have cost me the damn lead. So
Yeah, if
the
I had about
argument can
8
be
more
made.
po-
You
if I-
take your final 4 right now, it could stay the same because they're not moving anyway. But
if I had about 8 more points, I would be shooting your idea down, but I don't. So
that's what those 3 extra wins does for you, or 4 extra wins, or
yeah,
5 extra
right.
wins, whatever, however many it was.
I was trying to do the math on it because like I'm really close to passing Mind Killer, but I don't think it's gonna happen.
It's really going to hurt people that are not inside the top 10 points right now that have wins like Spencer and Kamal, because they actually do not get bonus points because they're not top 10 points. So they'll be hurting a little bit anyway.
Yeah, I feel like Tegan, I gave you your best test that you've had, maybe at least so far. I don't know what you would say to that.
Shit was about to change. Strategy was about to start being called different. Once I got through these road courses, which I had started to figure out Sonoma.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bradley. And so I was going to start changing some shit up on your ass, and I don't think I was going to be the only one.
Whoa, what do you mean?
Hey. I think JB was going to start changing his shit up too. Me and JB are just so much alike when it comes to pulling strategy. And then we were both getting beat on the same shit, that short pit crap. We were both getting ready to start doing it back to you. So it's probably a good thing. I don't know if it's a good thing it got called early or cut off on us, because I don't know. It might have been some hurt feelings involved. It wouldn't have been mine. It would have been yours or JB. So
whoa, what me? What, were you mad that I was pulling good strategies? You were the king of strategy, and then I outdid you sometimes this year. You didn't like that?
Well, it just feels like this game has changed in the last year or two, where tire don't matter. It's worse than what it was when the game came out. So usually you can run somebody down with fresh tires.
Meh. I think you still can. It just hits a even out point. Like I was chasing you down at Charlotte. The shoe was on the other foot at Charlotte. I went to pit early to get the 4 tires when you were going to take 2 to try to chase you down. They kind of evened out at some point. I feel like that's kind of how it goes. You've got to make the most of it when you've got the fresher ones. But if this is it, very disappointing for me at least. Having a pretty good year, getting my career high of wins, and still having 15, 16 races left. What could have been, so what might be, you never know. But I'm not holding my breath on getting back on this year. Let's do the picks here. Tegan was very kind and gave me the list of the order. So thank you, Tegan.
Did not
He didn't have points to do this morning, so there was something. He had to do something with sheep. You know how he is.
Yeah, he was pretty.
I did not do your points. I just done your.
You did that for me. You did.
I did your highlight, but I did not do the points.
Okay, I was confused. I didn't remember doing that. Okay.
Check out your other sheet.
So Bradley, new leader. Check the other sheet. Oh, did you update these? Whoa, this is fucking fancy.
So if you filter, you can actually filter it by color if somebody wants to see just who they have left.
Wow, thank you.
Go, Tegan.
Great. Thank you very much. Let me text people for their picks real quick before we get going here.
I'll go first, so I'm taking Seabell.
Okay.
That motherfucker done 350 laps there, so
he has been testing at Iowa, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Who else was testing Iowa? There was him,
Larson, and
I don't have either of those two anyways, so fuck.
Gazdowski.
I'm next, right?
Yes.
I'll pick William Byron.
There's a lot of people that are already took their heavy hitters when I was doing that sheet today.
Sally, what do you like?
Let me see my list.
Filter by color. Do white.
White.
Or
you can scroll down. You can just scroll down.
So that's what you've taken.
Where Chastain is. Yeah, and that's all he is.
even added some drivers that were not on there.
Oh no. Uh-oh.
Bill Color. What are you trying to do?
I don't know. Get it back to what it was before. Okay. Who do you want, Sal?
Truex.
Truex? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Nice.
That's you, Sal.
Thank you, Tegan.
Kev Ryan is going to pick Ross Chastain.
Boo.
Gee, I like that. Nice. Next up will be JB. Let's text him for his pick. Wessel's after him, so we'll let Wessel go.
He's been running really good, so there's a chance that he could get me points, but there's also some really heavy hitties here. And I don't feel bad about using it because it's not like it's a heavy throw, but he's been running well. I'm going to go Justin Haley.
I like it. He scored points for the last couple people that have picked him, so.
I mean, if he scores any points, he scores any points. If not, I get to pick last next week, and we're at New Hampshire. Do I still have
scored 2 points for Tegan at Darlington? I have. And 1 for whoever picked him at Gateway. Sure.
I mean, I still got some decent picks still. I mean, I still got Blaney. I still got Seabell, Logano, Byron.
Yeah. Bradley's going to pick Ty Gibbs. Big week, I think, for picks. I need
for
something.
A track that's not been ran.
I'm betting on William Byron because I feel like he fits him. He did good here in Xfinity, so,
So does he,
that's not a great tell, but I'm hopeful. I think it's a good week for Byron to potentially rebound.
Stenhouse was
also,
kind of here.
Also, there's some like Frankenstein repave here, isn't there?
Oof, it's ugly.
Yeah,
they didn't like it. Bell and Kazakh didn't like it.
JB's picking Josh Berry, by the way. So that's a
good throwaway.
I don't think that's a great pick, but it's probably
I think it's a good throwaway.
Yeah. Matt didn't give me his pick last week, so he's. I'm not gonna ask him.
Matt done this last year.
He did it, yeah. He just
and then started picking again, and he's only like still second and third in points.
Yeah,
we gotta start taking some drivers away.
Yeah, right.
Start picking for him.
Yeah. Maybe we'll just turn it into Matt Boyce or something for the picks. Matt Harris.
Let's Spencer pick him.
Yeah, right.
No, we have to make Harris and Spencer pick together. That'd be quite a team.
Ooh. To replace Matt, yeah. The Bang Bros.
I don't want to finish last.
JB did text me that it was a throwaway pick, so yeah, not a bad throwaway, I guess. If you're gonna throw away.
Mine is a pick that I think could possibly get me points, but it's also could be a throwaway. So like, I like Justin Haley.
I have a vision about William Byron.
That's what I said. Waters till fucking Barry decided to go bowling.
I thought Will Brown was going to be. I thought we were pretty jocked up about Will Brown. We were on this show last week going crazy about Will Brown, and then practice happened, and the Will Brown propaganda got even louder, and then RCR decided to fuck him in qualifying, and then the race. Yeah, so he should learn that if you're going to come to NASCAR, please go to a different organization. RCR is dying. I mean, they've been dying for 10 years, but it's a slow, painful
maybe death. Before the race, maybe after the race ended, he stopped Justin Marks. So is Project 91 still a thing?
Is it? Yeah, that's a good question. Is it still a thing?
Should be.
Hasn't ran this year. Hasn't had any announcements either this year.
Like it's getting awful late too to be any.
It'd be either the Chicago, and I assume SVG is running the 16 at Chicago, right?
I think so.
Probably, yeah.
So it's either going to be somebody at Chicago or Watkins Glen or the Roval. So hopefully they do something with it, but I thought it was a really cool thing.
The oval with some Indy driver.
Ooh, you over there putting out a good little idea. I like that.
Who was it? Was it who just won? Forgot.
Newgarden.
Yeah, didn't he say he wouldn't mind to take a crack?
He wants to do a double. I think he said something about wanting to do the double 1 year.
Would make more sense with him doing it with Penske. That's who he drives for, but they could cut a deal probably. So,
I mean, Trackhouse is a Chevy team, and they run Chevys in IndyCar, so
yeah, that'd be cool. I'd say it's more likely to see somebody like Castroneves maybe do it. He's done about everything. He's done IndyCar.
He started tried NASCAR.
No, he hasn't.
I don't think it hit off. I thought he did.
No, that was Dario Franchitti.
Oh yeah,
out of the 40 car.
Nah, Castroneves did do IROC. So
Castroneves did IROC, IndyCar, SRX, Dancing with the Stars. I mean, he's done a lot of stuff.
Ashley Judd.
All right, this is enough. Good show.
Oh, that's Dario too, wasn't it? My bad.
Thank you for watching, everybody. It was a
Sal, how do
week.
you get these effects? I can't get those.
It was a depressing week for the CFRL fam, but hopefully we get.
It's quite a watch stand. I got one too. It's not as like.
Mine's over here starting to peel from.
This is from Charlotte. It's still like this. This is from Charlotte. Yeah.
Mine's kind of faded out a little bit.
All right, guys. Thanks for hopping in with me tonight. Thanks for watching, all you folks out there. We'll see you next week after wherever the fuck they are, Iowa. Bye.
I just picked for it.
Yeah, whatever.